Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fulsome Friday. I can see there's a lot of interest today, and many people are hurriedly joining so that they should not miss out on anything that we are going to be talking about, or chatting, or discussing, or laughing today. Correct? But my first question is, have you come with your drink? What is your drink today? Because you people, if you go on treating it like a class, it doesn't work. I bought my chai. What about you? If you don't have a drink, go and get it. Right? And yeah, so that would make it more fun. It's relaxing. It's a platform where we share our thoughts, our musings, our feelings, expressions, everything. Correct. Let me take a sip first. Yeah? Yeah. So I can see that the topic today has attracted a lot of attention, and it should. Why? Because we are today talking about the person who has given birth to us and brought us on this planet. Correct. Now, my eyes may wander here and there because people are joining and I have to keep admitting them inside. So please pardon me for that. So, yeah, we are talking about mothers. And why? I thought it would be good because this is a weekend, is a Mother's Day weekend. And not that we just celebrate motherhood only on the day that it is. It's like a birthday, right? When you have a birthday, you do celebrate that day, but you do celebrate otherwise too. So today we are going to be not only honoring, but knowing ourselves through our mothers. And what are we doing? Consciously, unconsciously, deliberately, or as a pattern which we are not aware of, that follows what we have seen our mothers do. But to start before that, why does the word mother invoke such an emotion amongst us? I mean, look at it instantly. With the start of the class, we have quite a number of people. And I have been receiving DMs also for people saying that, give us the link, because we can't find it. So the excitement is there. Now I'll take you, the mother, the word, because you see, she's a nurturer and we are all nurtured and we are further nurturing our children. So in that nurturance, that bond that happens between a mother and a child is something that cannot be either questioned, or it cannot be broken, or it cannot be ever doubted upon. Why? Because you may have been born from your mother and the physical umbilical cord was cut, but the energetic umbilical cord connection stays with you forever. And that is why some instinct will sometimes tell you, some sixth sense will sometimes, sort of awaken in you to tell you either something is wrong with my mother, or let me just check on her, or I wonder what my child is going through. I'm not feeling good about it. And surely there would be something. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be some kind of, situation which a person is perplexed to handle. But that is you today. What happened when you were growing up? What happened? Try and recall and share with us, because we are based on that, we'll, go forward. And this is a conversational platform. Remember that one memory or that very thought that you said, I just hate my mother. Because what was it that made you think that, my God, I can't tolerate my mother. She's, of course, so strict. She tries to enforce her rules. She tries to do this. She tries to do that. She never gives me any freedom, etc. Lots of things, right? So let's first talk about What was it that your mother did to you that you still remember and you just were very uncomfortable or unhappy about? I won't say hate. I used a strong word, but as children, we use it, right? I, I hate you. So come on now. You know this is a platform for sharing anything and everything. Yes, Suman?
Yeah. So, Artiji, I always struggle with my relationship with my mother.
Okay.
Uh, it was type of a hate love relationship जो कि हम express नहीं करते, never ever. I was afraid to even express it to myself also, but in my inner world I knew that I'm not fond of my mother.
Mhm.
There was a friction. मतलब, there was a lack of belongingness, always.
Mhm.
Now she is no more, and I really misses her a lot. But that is was also fact of my life.
Okay.
And one thing more, कि when I was unmarried, I used to think कि मैं अपने बच्चों के साथ ऐसे कभी नहीं करूंगी, मैं अपने बच्चों के साथ ऐसे कभी नहीं करूंगी. And matter of fact, after my marriage, after I became mom, I found myself doing the same things with my child. And I was like, कि ये हो क्या रहा है? Why I'm doing the same things? But there was no control.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing this. And how many more people agree to, sort of feel the same way that we did not like what our mothers did to us, but today we realize we are following the same things, we are doing the same things or similar things. Anyone? Come on now, this is not a talking platform, you know that. I mean, my talking, single talking. Yeah.
Yes, mom. Here also the same feeling.
Okay. Is that
For
your mom behind
myself,
you?
with my mother.
Namaskar. Okay, wonderful. So maybe your mom can share something about what you were as a child and you are now following. Sorry?
Even she feels the same thing, mom. Every mother feels that.
Can we just have her talk to us? It'll be wonderful if she
Yes,
can
yes,
talk.
yes.
Please join. Please join. Lovely to see you here, ma'am.
She is not fluent in English, mom, so
Never
she feel
mind.
difficult.
Never
Yeah.
mind. You can transcribe. You can tell us what she has, her
Yeah.
thoughts. Let her share her thoughts in her language. It's okay. Come,
ಅಲ್ಲ
come.
ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗ ಸಣ್ಣ ಇಪ್ಪಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ತಿಂಗಳಾಗಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಡಿ ಆತರ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮನೇಲಿ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರದ್ದು ಮಕ್ಕ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆಟ ಆಡೋದು ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಕೊಂಡಾಟ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಯರ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ
It's like comparing to the generations. She is born and brought up in a joint family, ma'am. There were around more than 25 people in the family. So it was like for my grandmother, she was not able to spend more time with her kids. So they didn't get that adorable time. So my mother has that guilt that her mother didn't give that adorable, loving time for them.
So
But
she, yeah.
being a working mother, she didn't do that. She gave all time, she gave all love, she gave all adorable moment for us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can we all just clap for this mother, please? Pavitra's mother. Honest. Now, again, thanks to her, we have a. If anybody else's mother is also here, please bring her. We're talking about Mother's Day. So, what's her name, Pavitra? What's your mom's name?
Sharmila, ma'am.
Sorry?
Sharmila.
Sharmila. Oh, wonderful name. So Sharmila has just shared with us what her mother didn't do to her, but then she is now, that feeling, that lack, that, want of that mother's love was lacking. So she had decided, she took a promise. She took a promise to herself that when I have my children, I'm going to shower them with all the love. Right? Now look at the patterns that are forming. Though she was, Sharmila ji is or was a working mother, but still she took out that time that her children should feel loved and adored. Now, I'm asking you, Pavitra, okay?
Ma'am.
Based on her love and adoration and everything that she did for you, have you felt, now be very honest, okay? Have you felt very complete, or have you felt that you can't do things without your mother around?
Definitely, ma'am.
Or the dependence is so much that you just feel that I can just pass it on to her, she will do it so that I can
Yes,
concentrate on certain things.
yes, definitely.
Now,
I do that most of the time whenever she is with me. Actually, I have come to my parents' place for vacation.
right, right,
I'm totally free. I have left my kids to them.
right, right. So you realize, all of you, what happens here? There are certain patterns which keep forming, correct? What their mother did to them, they are, they take a decision, they take maybe an oath, they take a vow, they take a promise to themselves that I will not do this to my children. I will be a better mother. So she overwhelms them children with the kind of either love or discipline or restrictions, because maybe somebody in the family had too much of freedom in those days and it led to certain unhappy situations. I will not name them. Okay, it could be of any kind. So you as a child decided that when I become a mother, I'm going to be very strict with my children. Because perception, vision, views, everything that we perceive and see forms our reality. And in that process, without realizing that we have to learn to make our choices, not just idol worship our mother, which is, of course, a need. You need to honor, respect, give that, dignity and love to the parent who brought you on this planet. But how you want to deal with your children should be something which is neutral of all things that have been coming to you as either a belief or a conditioning or a baggage or even, generational. हमारे घर में ऐसा नहीं होता, हमारे खानदान में ऐसा नहीं होता. Hindi films have done a lot of damage because of that also. हमारे संस्कार. Now, the sanskar is a word which you cannot translate into English. There is no word that can tell you what sanskar means. Okay? But I'm going to use sanskar only. हमारे संस्कार ऐसे हैं. So in those sanskars, there's a probability that you didn't follow half of them. You rebelled because you felt restricted at that time. Correct? Today, you realize you are wanting to use the same sanskars for your own children. Where did that come from? Why has it come? What is the reason for it? Right? Are you regretting missing out on following those sanskars? And now are you applying it to your children, who in turn are rebelling against it? Right? So let's try and understand. Okay, now this is again getting one-way conversation. Please add to the conversation. Who's coming? Who's going to talk next? Anything. Don't make it like a class teacher saying, okay, you speak, you speak. Just raise your hands and we are going to be talking to each other. Oh, how nice. There are 31 people today. Yes, Sagari?
I think as growing up, teenagers generally tend to rebel. They see the world from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And once you are the adult, the responsible adult, you see the value in all these sanskars. And therefore, you feel that some of it, maybe not all, but some of it needs to be adapted and then used to bring up the children in a proper way, if I could put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is just a point of view, but I think that's why earlier there is that rebellion, and then you see the value of it. And perhaps that is why a lot of us do what our mothers did, because at that age, I would say, oh my God, I'm doing the same thing, what my mother did at that age. Because some things are age appropriate. You feel that way at that particular time, maybe in your 40s and 50s, which you say you will never do, but you end up doing because, it's a natural progression, I would say, of life.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's what I would say. That rebellion is natural. It should be there also. We should question everything,
Yes.
and not follow it, because that helps you be a thinking individual.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Very true, Sagari. And I'll just take this forward, what Sagari has said, that today I'm asking you to remember any such incidents, which were very particular that you were either rebelling against or angry about or very happy about, which you are now utilizing and doing the same to your children. And they're equally happy, or they're equally, sort of feeling okay with it. Because remember, every 10 years, there is a generational change. The generation shifts. Forget about the Gen Z and Gen X and baby boomers and all that. These terms have come up now. But every 10 years, there is a change. Shift, not change. And in that shift, it becomes very important for us to understand that if there is a shift, we need to shift too. Because we have to keep pace with what is happening, then our words change, our way of talking changes, our language that we use with children changes, our approach with them changes. Ask yourself. I'm sure most of you will say, when I was a kid, my mother used to say, now enough is enough, no more TV, sit down and do your homework. And TV was switched off and I was made to, even though I was angry, I had to do my homework or anything else. What do you say today? Can someone tell me? What do you say to your children today? Or how do you deal with them today? Come on. How do you deal with your children today?
So, ma'am, should I?
Yeah, sure, Lakshmi.
Okay. Okay. This is Suruchi. So,
I'm sorry. I saw another hand raised. Never mind. Let Suruchi, I saw Lakshmi's hand first. Maybe speak.
okay.
And then we can, yeah. I'll come to you after that. Yes, Lakshmi.
Thank you, ma'am. So when I was growing up, we never had TV and all. So there was nothing of the problem. But now when I see my grandchildren, when they're sitting with the tab or this all the time, I get worked up. And I try to tell them in a nice manner because they're not my children, they're my grandchildren. So I try to find ways to wean them off that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, what does it do to you? You said you get worked up. Why do you get worked up? Because
I'm like, Arey Baba, you come to Tati's house, spend time with Tati. Let's talk.
okay.
It doesn't happen. My grandson particularly will be with the tab all the time. Tati will make some rasam rice for me. Yes, I'll make. But he will eat it and then get back to his tab. So it annoys me.
That's his love. Dadi make rasam rice for me because he loves that. And he knows Dadi makes it. Dadi and Nani, whatever you are. And Dadi, okay. So, and then for him it's back. Now he's satisfied, he's fulfilled, and he goes back. Your need to be needed by and loved by your grandchildren is, in a way, a suffocation for them, to be very honest.
Can you tell more, ma'am?
Sorry?
Can you just repeat that? I didn't
said your need to be loved and needed by your grandchildren is somewhere a kind of vacuum that you feel about, being loved either by your parents or by your siblings, or you felt ignored. So somewhere, and maybe with your own children. So today you are trying to fulfill that with your grandchildren. But remember, as I've told all of us all the time, each one is living their own story. They have come with their own, and the children of today, they are very, very specially, sort of literally sent on this planet because they come with a totally different consciousness. Their consciousness is far more evolved And even though we feel they are wearing blinkers, blinkers that you put on horses, so the horse can only see in one direction. So they may be having blinkers, but in that blinker, instinct tells them where to turn for what and whom to go for, their needs. It's not just about physical needs. Tomorrow you'll be surprised if one of the grandchild just comes, puts his head on your lap and just says, Amma, whatever, massage my head. Right? It could be anything. So what happens? We have to learn to translate that into the emotional language of today. So our need will only be fulfilled when we reach out to them in their manner. But that doesn't mean you make them your friends, because role play is very important in our lives. Be a friend, but as a senior friend who can guide them, who can be with them, who can also have fun with them, but is the senior. Get it?
Beautiful.
Try
Thank you.
that. Try that.
Yeah.
Try that. Yes, Sharon, you had raised your hand.
I mean, absolutely apt on this. Thank you so much.
Sharon, where are you?
Yeah, Arti, here.
Yeah.
I was doing some parenting workshops, and I've noticed that the current generation, they are pretty. Their theme was, we want to be our children's best friend.
Yeah.
So the question was, are they doing their parenting? Because like you mentioned about homework, when we were younger, our parents said, okay, TV off, now do your homework. They were very focused on our academics, and we would watch TV. It was an equal amount of each and everything.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing, the trend I am seeing, or maybe the people that are coming to me, is that parents are saying, oh, if she fails, she fails. If she passes, she passes. There's no... this is not a judgment, this is just an awareness. And I was like, is this the new generation, what they require from their parents? The parenting style is very easygoing.
Yeah.
But what's happening is, because when I'm doing workshops with people who are going for jobs, who are going into an academics or going into college, these people are having a problem with the professors or the teachers, because they're not used to anybody telling them, being a little strict with them.
Right.
Like a slight bit of strictness, they crumble.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure this out. This is just an awareness. Where is the fine line between this?
So again, there are many things that are, sort of affecting what is happening in the world in general. Firstly, it is too technology savvy, number one. Secondly, the methods and ways of interaction or interpersonal skills or even conversations have come to a full stop because of technology. Because everybody is focused only, as I said, you're wearing blinkers and doing whatever. Even your blinkers even technology is guiding people today to decide how their children should be born and what is the best way to bring them up. And they don't want to listen to the mothers or the grandmothers who say, try this or do this or do that, because only what Google says or what any other platform says or is what they would want to believe in, because that is coming from a place of logic. So the emotions and the growth that was to happen because of love, right? Because of enjoyment, because of all our chakras being aligned, is not happening. So one or the other chakra is working overtime for people to realize that they are going the wrong way. Now, children are moldable, of course, but the days have changed and you have to now talk to them how? Okay, is it okay that, when will you do your homework? So the child will say, okay, I'll do it after 2 hours. Because you'll say, okay, why? You're too busy. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're also involved in, work from home and you can't give time to the child to say, okay, you leave that and come and sit here, do your homework, because he won't listen. And the rebellion today is such that they will honestly rebel so strongly that they will stop total communication with you. So what happens? You try
Huh?
to remember your time, when you were with your mothers and they used to be so strict. But remember, that time technology was not so strong. Even if you wanted to watch TV or something or do something, so what would happen? Those programs were limited to a certain and time. Revati, you may have to mute yourself. We can hear your conversation. Yeah. So we had limited programs. Yeah. So we knew that, okay, if I finish my work by this time, I can watch that TV. Otherwise, it'll go. It'll not come back again. Today, you can watch it anytime. But what is happening is this flow of the whole energetic consciousness that has shifted is not allowing parents to be in command and control of how they want their lives or their children's lives to be, because they are running a race against people, competition. Sorry, I mixed up two words: competitiveness and competition. And they're also afraid, and they want their children to be the best. So give them a free hand, not realizing that they are not preparing them for the real world. My parents were very strict with me, and they made me do this and they made me do that. I felt restricted. I felt very, smothered. I felt very unheard. So what am I going to do? I'm going to listen to my child. I'm going to give him all the freedom. It's okay if he passes. It's okay if he doesn't pass, because there are so many other options also available in today's world. So somewhere, even in that, it's great to have options. I'd love to have half the options that are available today if they were there for me. But even in that, somewhere you have to define what it means to follow the path, or what you need, what your parents taught you, what you hated about your mother, and your children are hating you for that. But what would you like to do? Are you preparing them for tomorrow, their tomorrow? And you said it rightly, Sharon. They're not ready to work. They don't know how to work. They don't understand how to work. Who's responsible? We are. Because we were, grew up so strict and so restricted that we gave all the freedom to our child.
The main thing what I've seen is, sorry for interrupting,
No.
the main thing what I've seen in these same adults, these same teenagers growing up and going into the workforce or going into colleges, they cannot handle authority because there was no authority at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk in that term only. Authority. They can't handle it. They crack. And then what happens? Their mental makeup goes for a toss. And then who do they blame? Parents, mothers. You didn't do this for me. You didn't do that for me. And here comes one child who may have been brought up differently. And when we say differently, learning to deal with situations in life, because the parenting was very different, right? So what happens sometimes in colleges, etc., that person becomes not the target, but the go-to person. ये मेरा ये काम कर दो, ये कर दो, ये ऐसे कर दो. All the physical aspects of life which they don't know how to handle. Literally, I have heard from parents and students saying that in college they were asked to settle the cupboards of their roommate because they didn't know how to do it. Simple things, and other maybe hygienic techniques, etc., which were not followed. So yes, a lot of things depends upon us. So, but we are not making this a lecture here. We are not talking about it. But thank you, Sharon. I think a lot of people would have benefited from this. But yeah, tell me your own experiences and how you are handling your children today. Snigdha, you raised your hand.
Hi, ma'am. So I have my friend here, Pavitra.
Namaste.
I'm here and my daughter's here.
Yeah.
She's listening now. So, while we call ourselves a gentle parent, I'm a gentle parent. But the fact is that most people are not realizing that gentle parenting means boundaries. Boundaries are not going to go away. What has to be done has to be done. You can't just leave the child to do anything.
Yeah.
And the other thing I realized is the rebellion that I put up in my teenage years is already here. They're already rebelling with that much force.
How does that
So,
make you feel?
uh, first of all, I've done forgiveness.
Okay. Okay. Right.
I understand the experience now, hence the forgiveness.
Right.
A lot more empathy towards the previous generation.
Right.
Hence the need to balance it now. You know, like say we give 1 hour of television once a week, and I'm going to set the alarm, which is going to ring 15 minutes before the 1 hour is up, and then 1 hour, and then you can cry how much you want. I'm here to hold your emotions, but the TV is going off. So we're also mentally preparing them. Suddenly, I can't come and say 1 hour is up. I'm going to switch off the TV.
Yeah.
So there is some amount of countdown or some basic preparation that we do.
Yeah.
And then we say it is done. Now that's it. That is the boundary.
Okay.
When we care for your emotions, we are not asking you to suppress it, go do whatever, be destructive. We're here to hold space for that. We're here to not let you hit, because the hitting and all in this generation also I feel is quite a lot. So
Okay,
we're here
now,
for
yeah,
that also.
awesome. Snigdha, now I want to ask you, your rebellion against your mother, did you ever sort it out with her?
No, ma'am. Probably not. I mean, now I think we speak after I got into Radical, the last 1 year, I think is when we brought up the past and even spoken. Others we were set in our patterns. Like I'm 38 now, till probably 37 years. Imagine I've not even gone back and spoken about it because I was always blaming. I was thinking she did it. Probably in her head, she thought it was so difficult to handle her.
Right.
All my life I've rebelled. Must have been so hard for her. In my head, oh, she never listened to me, so I will rebel. My poor mother. Only now I think I'm able to, bring some aspects. We're able to talk, actually talk about them.
Oh, yeah. Are you able to talk about it and have you sorted it out with her and asked for her forgiveness?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Probably. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And I say this to all of us because somewhere that mother keeps, there's this little lump in her life that, of course, she's very happy to see her children grow, very happy with their progress, very happy with their success, etc. But somewhere in the emotional, let's say, compartment, there is that little, lump that she'll have. And if all of us today decide that, okay, fine, I know that this is part of a process of a cycle of life that we have been going through because we are humans and living in this reality and this world, we have been able to either handle it or not handle it. It's okay. It's okay. But it is very important that you should be able to sit down literally and say, I'm really sorry for being what I was or what I did or what, anything else that happened in life. You will be energetically helping her,
Yes.
relieve a lot of the emotional lack of burden that she has been carrying for so many years. It'll affect her life. It'll affect her thinking. It'll affect her vibrance. It'll affect her energy. How
Yes,
many
ma'am.
of, yeah, you agree?
Yeah, I understand. Yes, I agree.
How many of you agree with me? Come on, raise your hands.
Completely. I did that recently too.
Yeah, Chandani, Lakshmi, Pavitra,
And it
Suruchi. That's all. That's all the number of people agree with me.
and
Manisha.
it'll help her also, Arti.
Of course, that is the point. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said. That she'll be
Yeah.
able to then open up and just be herself. She needs to be too. She needs to be who she was. Maybe she'll blossom even if it's a little late in life. I mean, I know about women, and I think I mentioned it in one of
No,
my.
help her, and I was thinking even help Snigdha in a way because somewhere there definitely must be guilt in the mind. No, now that she's become aware of her rebellion.
Absolutely, Sunita. I agree with you completely.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, I think all of us need, including me, needs to
Yeah.
ask for forgiveness and just bear your heart out that I behaved like this. It was my understanding where I was coming from. Seek that forgiveness seek that, grace, give her that honor, give her that dignity. And if your parents are no more alive, still do it. Because what are you doing? You're energetically disentangling all those knots which have been there, which have been maybe holding you back also, because you thought my mother never left me, loved me, she left me, she abandoned me, she didn't care for me. There was her story too. Some story which we are not aware of. Because she's a mother and she should know everything, she should do everything, she's capable of everything, she's our superwoman. But they don't become superwoman like that. Imagine what all is behind that they have been hiding. Because circumstances were different then, life was different then, society was different then. I mean, there was not so much of, I won't say openness, but freedom that we have today. Correct?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
yourself a favor on this Mother's Day. Go to your mom. Not just Happy Mother's Day and send her flowers and cake or whatever you do. Just be with her if you can. Otherwise, give her that way of love, which is sharing and asking for forgiveness. She'll say, क्या बोल रही हो? बेकार की बात कर रही हो. But बेकार की बात, just tell her, हाँ ठीक है, बेकार की बात है. It is not the real thing, but I want to say today, that's my gift to you. Write to her. Do something unusual that your
I
mother
think that's
would
the best form because it stays with them also when we write.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? So we should do that. Or try to do that. Yeah? Come on now. Again, it seems a one-way conversation. Let me see what's written in the chat. We have Lakshmi says, Amma was pure love, never had any other thought, man. So Lakshmi, have you been carrying on the same tradition and being that? I'm sure you are. But then because of that lack that you're feeling, because there's an expectation, because I love them so much, they should love me back equally. You can never ask for demand anything in life, right? Just give. Just be a contributor. That's what Radical teaches us.
Yes.
Contribute with love, contribute with grace, contribute with integrity, and you shall get what is meant for you. It will come your way. I'm reminded of that very famous film dialogue of Diwar, Amitabh Bachchan and Shashi Kapoor. We all know it. It's become it's like an ironic thing in life when Amitabh Bachchan says, "मेरे पास पैसा है, घर है, गाड़ियां हैं, ये है, वो है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है?" And what does Shashi Kapoor say? Can someone tell me?
माँ है.
मेरे
मेरे पास
पास माँ है.
मेरे पास माँ है.
Exactly. So, मेरे पास माँ है. Now that माँ, the symbolic माँ, it has touched across generations. It's not just a filmy dialogue. It just touches you to tell you that मेरे पास माँ है. She's that umbrella. She is literally that umbrella. Even if the umbrella is torn or tattered, she'll put her pallu on top of that torn umbrella so that you don't get wet in the rain. She'll stand in the rain. She'll stand in the sun. She'll carry your bag as a kid, right? Your heavy bag. But she'll hold your hand and bring you back home and try to remember your childhood.
Ma'am, even now my mother wants to do all that for me.
Who's saying that? I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Snigdha here, Snigdha.
Okay. Yeah, see, because that is the kind of love they have. But as parents today, now, all of us, let's shift to parents, we being mothers. What is it that you think you're carrying forward as either as a conditioning, probably as a conditioning, let me not talk of beliefs. Sanskar is different, but I'm talking of conditioning. What do you think you're carrying forward and doing the same thing with your children?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love, okay, wonderful. But in that unconditional love, are you suffocating them? Ask yourself, were you suffocated when you were loved as a child? Now think about it. इतना ज्यादा प्यार दिया कि मुझे अपने मन का कुछ करने ही नहीं दिया. Anyone?
Actually, ma'am, we were allowed to do whatever we liked.
Okay.
So we had full freedom, right?
Okay.
My parents given me full freedom. But
Oh,
when I became mother, I was like something strict about my children, that you must study and you must do this and that. And now that when I have grown old, a bit, so I have realized that nahi, I must do the same my parents were doing. Like I must let them do whatever they like. In their childhood, I was very much strict, but now I have realized it's only my prayers and my love that will reach out to them, and not my strictness.
right,
That
right.
is what I have realized
Yeah, because,
after.
yeah. Why do,
Hmm.
good that you mentioned this, Chandni, because we have to learn from nature. And I have given these examples very often in the recitations that I do. Have you seen birds? The mother will sit over the eggs, not move from there. The father will bring the food and feed the mother. Then the children, chicks are born and they are also growing up, right? She teaches them how to fly. She's there, right there with them till they learn how to fly. And then one fine day they're gone. Does she cry for them? No. She has set them free. She has made them independent young birdies, whatever they are, right? But the lesson here is, of course, it doesn't mean that you set them free, that they don't come back to you. She has passed on the learning to the next generation of chicks who have become birds, and they have gone. Now, because she knows there's a next lot that will come again, because that's total detachment, neutrality. But as humans, what have we learned, and thanks to Redikall, that learn to have master the art of detachment, attachment with detachment, which means give them that freedom, let them have their wings, let them fly, but your love and the care and everything that you provide for them will always be the binding factor that will continue to grow and teach them lessons for their lives in the future. Of course, there are going to be changes as per the generations of today, of course. Their way of living, their way of eating. I think 70% of the children these days who are living independently order food from Zomatos or whatever else. But that's okay. It's their life, they have to learn. The day they feel they want to, learn home cooking or come back and ask mom, okay, how do you make this? Some parents have a tendency to say, oh, yaad aa gayi, ab seekhna hai. Bola tha bachpan mein seekho, and all that rubbish. No. Fine, let's do it together. Let's do this, let's do that. Or maybe they have something new to teach you. Mom, this is how we make salads. Because that's what they eat today. So, okay, learn something new from them. So what happens? We are continuing to establish the bonds where they can turn around and say, mere paas maa hai. Correct? Right. Now, who else?
Right, but one more thing, ma'am.
Yeah.
Even after giving all the freedoms,
Mhm.
like why do as a parent I am a worried parent still? Well, I have seen most of the parents are much worried than the generation that we had before. We are worried parents.
Yeah, that will be also because in our generation, when we grew up, there was not so much of exposures of many kinds, right? Those exposures are intellectual, technological, social, financial. Many kinds of exposures are happening energetically. They are in abundance. Children. We didn't grow up with that. Okay. We had limited spheres in our lives. But again, if we have learned from it and learned to move forward where we understand that in their growth, things are going to be either difficult or they're going to be good or they're going to allow certain, pitfalls or certain big booms. So we have to learn to accept that. Acceptance with awareness and grace is the only thing that is going to make them grow and
Like
make
us, yes,
you feel at peace. Because
right.
what are you doing? You are restricting and constricting your own heart chakra, your own solar chakra, because you're feeling a sense of, power is going away, position is going away, sacral chakra is getting affected because, the luxury of enjoying the love of children is going away because they're becoming independent people. Let them be. Today, we know it. Can you imagine it in your generation? Of course, it was there, but very little. Today, children tell their parents openly, even if they're living in the same city, that they want to stay independently. They want to have their own apartment. And it's not about being close to their workplace, but they want to have their own apartment, etc. also. Why? You can't say, no, you can't do that. You're in the same city and you have to stay with me. No, things have changed. And in that itself, they will also come back and say, Mom, how do we do this? How do we manage this? Iska kaise kare? Maid kaise rakhe? Etc. So many small things that they will keep coming up with, isn't it?
Right. True.
Thanks, Chandni, for your inputs. Yes, Suruchi?
Just a second, ma'am. You said acceptance and I'm noting down some pointers. Acceptance and
I don't know what I said.
Awareness. Awareness.
Awareness. Acceptance with awareness.
Acceptance with awareness.
thank you.
Don't concentrate on writing, Lakshmi. Just listen. It'll all go into you because this is a conversation we are happening. It's not a class. Please, it's
Okay.
not a class.
Okay.
Because then the focus is more on writing and getting the points. Yes, Suruchi?
Things I liked it. Acceptance with awareness. It connected immediately.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suruchi?
So what I do is I watch them what they are watching and then getting affected by them that. So I watch a absolutely different version. Like I have been after my child to learn, to peel, to cut, to understand that these are the basics. You will do it, and she'll say whenever the night time will be, I will learn. So I was just watching all those reels and all. So I got one reel where there is a girl who said that my mother used to tell me, I never used to understand. Now with work, it's really humongous. But now I really regret it. So I sent her this thing. I don't want you to regret. So this time she said, okay, I'm coming for a month. I will do 2 potatoes every day. I said, okay. A little bit is also fine. And I'll fill up only my water bottles. I said, fine. Let's do that. Let's break the ice. The rest is all fine. But this is also my part to explain her to learn certain things.
Absolutely.
To know where is all things in the kitchen. So after a long time, I opened up my sacral, my all my emotions aligned, and then I thought, "Ki, this is the best way to explain it to her."
Wonderful. And again, this brings me to Suruchi's point also. She said, I'll fill up my bottle. I'll do 2 potatoes or whatever. Please understand another thing. As I said, children are growing up only, and their only friend, their only partner is their laptop or iPad. Because whether it is for studies, whether it is for work, whether it is connecting, whether it is playing games, everything is only the technology. So they are in any case isolated completely, right? They don't have real friends. They don't go out, ki, chalo, let's go and play football outside. Or that also will be only in clubs or wherever else, because unfortunately there are less spaces in the country too, where children can just be themselves. But that is why they are growing up with the approach, I, me, myself. Now to break that approach, who can help out? Only a mother. Why do I say only mother? You'll say, why not father? Of course, father. But I'm talking of the role that we as mothers play. Get them to, it's as simple as just playing Ludo. Can you believe it? I'll give an example from me only. My granddaughters, I have 2. So right from childhood, I made it a point, their childhood, that whenever we are together, we are going to spend 45 minutes together. We used to call it together. So 45 minutes together, and we will do whatever you want to do or I want to do. So the three of us would sit down. Now the age gaps, can you imagine? It's going from here to there. That's me. But whatever they wanted to do, whether it was rolling on the floor, today we will roll on the floor as kids. So imagine me as a woman of 50 plus at that time, rolling on the floor with them because they wanted. That's their game. Right? Then as they grew, so the together holds even today because we call it that. And till date, they are waiting always that when are you coming? They don't live in the country. When are you coming? We have to do together, time. Now they call it tutu. Together, tutu. We have to tutu soon. Now, what have I done? I became them. I became their friend. But in between, there were times when I would get, something to do with knitting and embroidery and crochet. These days, you get these kits, right? So I would bring that, and together, all three of us would be doing that. The same thing, three of us are doing. Together, reading books. How? I will read one paragraph, you read the next paragraph, she reads the next paragraph. That was together. In so much so that what happened? The parents also started joining in and doing together with us. So everyone in the family, though they have their respective lives, son has his work, daughter-in-law has her work, children have their schools and colleges, but every evening, if we are at home, there is together. So we can create our own. They will also remember it for life. Children also value it, means your children value it. Why do they value it? Because somewhere I decided that this is the way it's going to be. And it was not a commanding thing, it was not a solar chakra thing. It was a heart chakra thing. Right? And why did this come to me? Because I had grown up seeing my mother make it a point that all of us would sit together in the evening and play Antakshari. Those days you had very limited things, no? Maybe Antakshari, maybe other things, also Ludo. So now, since I have grown old, according to my grandchildren, so we do all these, card games together. And sometimes we just talk. So this is just a way of saying what we all can do in life and not say that children don't like it in the beginning. But there are certain traditions that maybe your parents were doing. Think about it, your mother. What did she do? That you can imbibe and pass it on to your children too. It's a good passing on, no? It's not something that can be said that, oh God, what is she doing? They will say it in the beginning, but then they love it. Right? Yes, Revati, you have a point. Revati?
As you were talking about sanskars and the way you play with your grandchildren, we were brought up in a very orthodox fashion. My father was a priest, so during those times, periods used to be a big taboo. Even though we were in a small house, we had to sit apart and things like that. When we moved to a bigger place, and my father would get irritated. And the grandchildren coming and all, my mother was amazing. She had such an amazing visionary. So she told the children, and she could not see that her children, grandchildren are being, troubled. Even for us at that matter. Now she told, okay, when you get your periods, do not tell me. If I don't know it about it, I'm not worried. And she would say, and she'll tell us daughters, you're working in the kitchen every day. So let me have the pleasure of cooking for you. I will cook for you. You do rest of the job. And she told us also that blanket thing was for grandchildren as for us. And our family had lot of girls. Only 2 grandchildren. Rest were girls. He said, you're coming to my house, our house, grandparents' house. You should not even drop a shed of tear. So she would tell us, go ahead. You also go ahead. Don't tell me anything. Carry on with your life. And, it created such a liberation and respect for her mother. Though she had the sanskars that thing you should not cut your hair. If your husband likes it, do it. Those things were there. Okay. But when you see the larger part, she's a beautiful person. So when my daughter, I also had my rigidity. But when she went abroad, That is when I decided I'll not shed any tear or anything. She's going for a future. Let her enjoy. And I started my detachment, thinking of my mother. Every moment I think of my mother. How detached, so much love. When we used to go there, she used to shower us with everything, give us dabbas. But the minute we are gone and say we have reached safely, she's assured we are in a safe place.
Yeah.
So I imbibe those qualities. I don't know. I'll have to check with my children whether I am that like that. But I would like to believe and I would like to progress on what she has given us.
Right.
That is an amazing legacy that she has left with us.
Right. Awesome. Awesome, Revati. Thank you for this sharing. So, I mean, as she's talked about the sanskars, and thank you, Sharon, for writing that it is morals and ethics, but it still doesn't describe sanskar. Sanskar is a very, very beautiful word, you know. So, but anyway, culturally also there are a lot of things that culturally also there are a lot of things that we imbibe from our parents and mothers especially, and some of them may have been taboo at those in those times. Some of us still want to follow it, but does it help? Let's look at the energetic understanding of it and see if it is really of value in today's times. Ethically, if it is wrong, yes, nothing should be, you know, disturbed. But otherwise, if it is of a not of a value, as you talked about, having periods and not entering kitchen, etc., was definitely there. And it is still followed in a lot of households. You cannot enter with, you know, slippers in the kitchen also. And some people still prefer that, you know, women stay away when they're having their periods. But in today's times, what is it that you want to teach your daughters, your sons, by the way, not just daughters, that is being passed on to them? Are they also imbibing the same kind of pattern? Because that will shape the way they behave with themselves and their families in the future. Is it going to be a patriarchal system that you followed in your family where your mother was completely quiet, never uttered a word? You also learned to be quiet because you got that kind of husband, right? Or you are living in a joint family where you're not supposed to voice your thoughts, etc. What is it that you're going to pass it on to your children further that they would like to, you know, carry on? So we have to really think what makes value for the circumstances and lives of today. Because when we talk of Mother's Day, especially, it is a reminder to us also as mothers, not only being worshipped as mothers, but a reminder to us as mothers, our responsibility, our role, our dedication, first to ourselves. How do we want to be? How do we want to see? How do we want to teach? How do we want to learn? Once we do all this, then we are making it so much simpler for us to create certain patterns for the future, which can be sort of growing into beautiful trees themselves and blossoming, right? Any responses, any reactions? Please, girls, it is not a one-way conversation.
So, Arti, what I found helps me a lot is when I learn from my kids.
Yeah, okay.
You
Awesome.
know, I ask them how they feel, what do they think about this, and because I believe their generation is a different gen, and I believe we can learn from it rather than putting things, oh, in my time we did this. It's like, how would you handle this? What do you think about it? And I have felt that that has really, really helped. Like my daughter's in the same country as me. She's living about 2.5 hours away, and we have a really good relationship. And when she needs something, she'll make a phone call. She comes once in 3 months and spends the weekend with us. So she's living her whole life and she's still very connected to me. So I always believe they teach us.
Absolutely.
Because we have old information. Our knowledge is old.
Absolutely.
So they have so much to teach us, and that's where I found that the communication is a form of love.
Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. And healthy communication. Not that when a child rings up and you say, Acha, oh, now you remember to call your parents, huh? Now you got the time to talk to your parents, etc. A lot of us do that. What are we doing? You're switching them off. They'll say, what's the point of calling up? She's always complaining. She's always got something negative to say. She's always, not in a good mood. But if we go, I mean, this is if we are behaving that way. But we as, children, hear the same dialogue coming from our mothers or parents for that matter. Let's just reflect. What is it that we are missing out and giving them? Of course, time is one of the biggest factors, but what is it that we are not doing that is making them feel so left out? Right? What is it that we are doing that is making them feeling so neglected? Look within. Get those answers. Because what they are talking about is something your children are also observing, and that might turn into your reality tomorrow if you don't understand how to deal with it and how to address it, how to even tackle it, and how to solve it. There's no other word, right? So that is one way. And any other memories that you realize, had impacted you so much that today, when you think about it and you're grateful that she did that to you? Anyone? No one? No one
Ma'am,
has any memories?
there's a lot of background noise. I couldn't hear what you said actually. Any other memories you were saying?
Any memories that have impacted you so much that, I mean, in such a good way that when you think about it, you are grateful to your mother for it?
Her calmness.
Arti, I just feel like sharing something. I mean, I don't
Sunita?
know whether, my mother passed over in 2005. So it's really 20 years ago. And my son got married was 7 years ago. And my mother used to always tell me that in our generation, like I'm 65 plus, so in our generation, the husbands used to hardly, it was always that he's the breadwinner, does the outside things. And we were, or at least in my household, it was definitely like that, that I'm supposed to look after the children and everything. And my mother always told me that you please teach your son that tomorrow his wife will be working and that he should also help out in the house. In your generation, it didn't happen, but you girls, to keep the balance or to keep peace in the house, you managed everything. But tomorrow's generation is not going to be like that. They will expect the husband to pitch in because they are equally spending equal amount of hours outside and things like that for their work. So you please teach him that he has to also help his wife. And I used to, I think, overdo it. And just before getting married, like my son told me, do you want me to give it in writing on a piece of stamp paper that I'll help my wife? I said, no, now I know you've got it. And you won't believe, like last year when I went to their place, my daughter-in-law told me, she said, Mama, I want to thank you for something. She said, ये जो आपने उसको सिखाया to pitch in and do half the household work, she says that has helped us, our relationship become so good right from the beginning. Otherwise, I have seen, like they are in US last 8-9 years. She said, among Indian couples, I have seen most of the boys are not taught to work. Like they just think that they can come home and put up their feet and sit, and the wife has to do everything. And in their households, the first 3-4 years go in these fights. Ki, why should I only keep doing? And she said, for us, because I said, no, that is credit to my mother who had that vision to tell me that I should teach my son this thing. So I just felt like sharing this. Like, I mean, we're talking about mothers and daughters, but in today's times, I thought it is very relevant.
Absolutely.
So I just felt like sharing my mother's memory. Yeah.
Thank you, Sunita. What a wonderful memory you have shared, and what a wonderful knowledge she passed on. That,
Yeah.
with your children. And yeah, it's important. When I talk of children, I'm not just talking your daughters. I'm talking of both
Yeah.
son and let me just read a few things that have been written in the chat. It
Yeah.
has said that um, Sharon says, allow kids to stay on their own. They appreciate their life and your contribution to their lives. That is true. Then Lakshmi says, Amma's calm, serene nature, something I wish to imbibe. My daughter always tells me Thati was so chilled out. Right. So yeah, there's no harm, I mean, don't hold yourself back, Lakshmi. You can still do that. And Swati writes, I appreciate, the platform and space held here. Thank you, Swati. Amma and me shared lovely times and found peace, support, and strength in each other. We had quite a few conflicts regarding comparison, demands. Time spent with her is cherishable, and I find myself being discontent with the quality and quantity. So, Swati, if your mom is there in the same city or wherever you are, as I said in the earlier part of the program, reach out to her and just tell her whatever goes on in your mind. No matter what age our mothers are, they will still understand. They will still be able to absorb what you're trying to tell them. And they will also still be able to guide you with their wisdom. We sometimes, overlook it, but it's a fact that whatever comes from them, those words of wisdom is something, it goes and sits in our subconscious mind. We may not need it when we are talking as of right now, but it will surface one day. And it'll give you such a good feeling that thank God my mom taught me this, or she told me this, or she made me do this. Thank God. So the universe, remember, you chose your parents, and your children have chosen you to be their parents. Why? There is a pattern set in the divinity and the universe too. For a flow to happen, for patterns to be sorted out, for belief systems to be ignored, for love to prosper, and for growth to happen with a lot of integrity and honor. Right? Now, how many of you agree with me? Darshana, you want to say something? No. Okay. Preeti, Neha. Yeah. All right. So, yes. So, this was today in honor of Mother's Day. Let's just thank her. And let's thank ourselves as mothers, in gratitude to ourselves for the role that we were provided being a mother. Right? So, let's just say a few words in total grace for them and for us as mothers. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in all the love, care, joy, happiness, integrity. And breathe out all that vibrations and frequencies that still feel restricting. Invoke radical consciousness, love consciousness, prosperity consciousness, take a deep breath to sense the awakening of this consciousness and visualize your mother standing there in front of you. See her lovely face, her joy as she sees you. no matter what your relationship has been with her. But see her as a happy person because energetically, today you're reaching out to her and saying to her, Mother, I see you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, I love and accept you, I honor you, I honor the brilliance in you, you are me and I am you. Once more, I see you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, I love and accept you, I honor you, I honor the brilliance in you, you are me and I am you. Take a deep breath. Absorb it. Just be grateful to your mother in gratitude. Say whatever you wish to her right now. Your words. Be thankful and grateful for whatever you wish to, and for passing on the learnings, the wisdom, the guidance to you, which you hope to carry forward continuously with your children. And when you feel you have had a good chat with her, give her a big hug. Feel it. Feel the love. Her love coming to you and yours going to her. And you can open your eyes. So thank you.
Thank you, Arati. That was beautiful.
Right. Any last words, anyone? What would you like to say? Yes, Sagari?
Thank you so much for that connection. My mother's no more, so that was wonderful to connect with her in this way. And I would just like to say at this point that it makes me want to connect and appreciate my daughter.
Awesome.
So on Mother's Day, as much appreciate my daughter and of course my son as well.
Yeah.
So I just thought if, that may inspire people also to
Right.
message or call their children.
Right.
And thank them for
Right.
just being them. That's it.
You know what
Thank
you can do? Yeah, thank you, Sagari. That was beautiful. You know what you can do this time? Thank your children for making them your mother on Mother's Day. It's not about just them honoring you, correct? It is
Yes,
about
yes.
us also accepting and embracing the role that they provided you for being a mother.
And if it wasn't for them, we would not be mothers.
Right, right. So
Thank
remember
you.
that energetic cord connection will always be there for life, that can never, never be displaced. But yes, today we thank our mothers and we thank our children for making us the mothers that we are. Right? Yes, Revati?
As you were describing, I was just seeing my mother's big bindi, her beautiful face, and the mole under her eyes, and laughing face. We have spent a lot of time laughing over everything. So whenever I think of her, I only laugh. So now I was thinking, what rangoli to put for Mother's Day? So it will be my mother with her beautiful big bindi. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neha, for your kind words. And what is Khyati saying?
Thank you, Arati. Very nice session.
Thank you. I would request all of you, please post your comments, feedback in the group also, in the the seekers group that we have, our private group, and also on the YouTube page. It is important. I'm not saying it for me. I'm saying it because when people see or read, because if you, like you also, if you want to watch a video, sometimes you like to read what are the comments below that, right? So people do read, and then they get inspired. And yes, I want to bring my little effort of wanting to bring people onto the Radical page and becoming part of our Radical community, and for which we are really grateful to Atman for making it happen in our lives, and to Radical Consciousness for making life so simple for us, as long as we decide to make it simple and live it simply. Thank you so much. Thank you for this lovely session today, all of you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.